Now that you see me, I'm about to go ahead and do my thing, which is what I normally do, which is share. Um, Go ahead and do that now. Yes, yes. Let's see. Bam. Done deal. That's simple, homie. What's good? What's really good? What's really, 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 really good? I know I'm competing with Monday Night Football. It don't matter. Those who are still watching it. If you're not, we're getting ready to talk about something that's critical. We're getting ready to revisit something that's amazing. But before we do that, before we get into that, I'm gonna need you guys to do one thing. Put your city down here, right down there in the comments. But where you tapping in from? What's up, CJ? My crypto brother. What's good, Oklahoma? Man, Tulsa. Rich history. Appreciate you tapping in, CJ. Who else is up in the building, man? Let me know where you tapping in from, man. Put that in the comments. Go ahead and put that in the comments. If you're not following us on all our handles, please do. Follow us, Drug Dealers to Businessmen, iTunes, you name it. Subscribe. All right, Springfield. What's up, Leon? What's good with it, man? Everybody good out here? Wonderful, man. Yes, yes. We're going to talk about something very, very interesting, homie. We're getting ready to revisit because I think it's important that we talk about that and really, really stress that because what's good? My thing is like this. The only way we're gonna get to where we need to get to. What's up, Texas? What's good? We give a shout out to all you guys. What's up, Joshua? Man, appreciate you tapping in for Texas, brother. Appreciate that. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about the importance of starting. Starting, right? I didn't say finishing because finishing is subjective, right? But the importance of starting, right? And I'm gonna just tell you a little parable. I went to the gym not too long ago, and I think it was like the day before yesterday. One of the hardest things about going to the gym is what? Getting there. What's good, ATL? What's up, Samuel? Appreciate you checking in. What's good, homie? Always, man. Appreciate that. I'm about to slide down to my father-in-law live down there. And I got family down there. What's up, Steven? Appreciate you, man. Fifth Ward in the building as always, man. You guys are consistent as I need to be. You dig? And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tapping in, man. Thank you. Sincerely, man. You can spend your Mondays with somebody else, but you guys do it with me, and I really appreciate that. Sincerely, homie. Yeah, indeed, Samuel. Indeed. I'll tap in. I will tap in. So, talking about the importance of starting. And like I was talking about my gym experience. And one of the hardest things about the gym, like if you are going to go to the gym, one of the hardest things is leg day. Right? Nobody feel like doing leg day. Why? Because leg day is not sexy. Females like, cat with nice legs or whatever, but at the same time, it's grueling, right? There's not a lot of pleasure in it. You can't really flex your quads. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess you can or whatever, but it's one of the more dreaded days. You feel me? What's up, Gerard? Yeah, nah, man, no doubt. Appreciate you, homie. Tap in all day, baby. Um, and when you go in there, it's like, man, what do I do? You want to go where everybody else going flex. Let me go do my chest. Let me do my arms because those give you that instant, immediate gratification, right? Dig that one. But when you get to them legs, man, you just gotta start. Like I start with the hardest ones, which is squats. Free form with the thing over the back, and just squat it out. Start. I want to start there because that's the hardest part. But the thing about it, once I realized that once I start, I get momentum. What's up, Chance? Appreciate you, champ. Oh man, I appreciate you checking in from Kentucky, homie. Really do. Once I get started, it's like a bicycle. I got momentum, right? I got momentum. I get through this, and it's just a countdown. It's just a matter of time, right? Let me count down. Let me do first set. Okay, boom, I knock down 10, 12. All right, man, that hurt. But let me get to set two. Set two is not going to be as bad as the first set. And set three is going to be a breeze because I did set one and set two. But had I not gotten started, I'd be still stuck with chicken legs, looking crazy, whatever the case may be. Right. And I bring that full circle to talk about what we need to do, accomplish in terms of our lives. What happened when we started yet? What do we keep putting on that back burner? Remember, we used to cook work, we used to put the work on the back burner. It wasn't ready that we get trying to go, okay, you got to settle a little bit. This is when we were stove topping it, right? Before we was micing it. But even still, you know what I'm saying? What do we put on that back burner that we for whatever reason we don't want to do, right? That we're delaying on doing. I don't know what it is. And you guys can put it in the comments what you think it is. It could be fear, it could be fear of failing, it could be I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like breaking up my comfort zone, because the comfort zone is a dangerous spot to be in, right? Unless you're sitting on like 70, 80 million, right? And you can sit comfortably. And even then, you feel like you have an obligation to the world. That's why you see a lot of people doing philanthropy once they get a lot of money. Rick Ross has been just on a tangent about talking. What's up, John? All right, South Central. Appreciate you, homie. My local cast tapping in. I appreciate that. But he's starting to give advice, right? Jay-Z, when he got all his money, we start doing, helping other rappers out. Because you accumulate all this stuff, you feel like you have an obligation to help somebody else, right? The world's blessed you in a certain way. So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do I connect with that one thing? Well, you got to start. You got to start somewhere. Let me tell you something. The shirt I got on, this is our hair company. I started this, and I ain't gonna say we started this 7 years ago. We're going on our 8th year. I can't wait to do 10th year anniversary shirts. 10th year anniversary this, 10th year anniversary that. Once you do that, I'm telling you, everything changes, because people see longevity and they believe in you once you start. Once you continue, once you stay, once you have staying power. That's the key right there. But nothing happens without the start, right? What happens in your car, man? Starter out, that's a wrap. You could try to push it, you could try to pop start it, but it needs something to spark it, right? And once it gets sparked, then you got that momentum. Everything else does the rest, but it has to get that spark. Where do you get that spark from? Because everything in the world is telling you not to start, man. Put it off, dog. Don't trip. You can do it later, homie. You don't need to do that right now. What you doing that for, man? Why do that right now when you can do this? Your mind is trying to protect you from danger. So it talks you out of stuff. We've had that conversation about Mel Robbins and the 5-second rule over and over again. And I may have it with you guys every time we meet, just to remind you that you got to move on shit. You can't sit there and be stagnant. You got to move. Let me take a step. I don't care what kind of step it is. A physical step towards. Let me write down an idea. Let me write down. Let me try to get Canva. Let me do a logo real quick. Even if it's trash, I don't care. But I got started. And once I get started, man, the universe is like the rest of the engine and the pistons and I mean the what are they? I'm not. You can clearly tell I'm not a mechanic, but the spark plugs. That's what the universe does. Once it gets a spark, it keeps going. Momentum. Then it's a finely tuned, running, smooth engine, right? That's what you have to do. But you got to get the spark going. And a lot of times, life puts out that spark. Life puts a damper on it. It can be other people as well. I'm a firm believer you are the limitations of the people you are surrounding yourself with, which is why I moved to the City of Angels. There's no limits here. Before I used to get down in the city I used to serve my work in, it was a limitation there. And then when you have a limitation or a smaller pond, no matter what kind of fish you are, you're going to stand out. Doesn't matter. You can be a guppy, you could be a goldfish, you could be a damn turtle, and then you're going to stand out. But when you come to an ocean like LA, what's up, Hot Daz? You already know what I'm talking about. So when you come to a place like LA where there's just so much opportunity, so many people, you aspire to be as such. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta surround yourself constantly. And I don't care if you can't do it physically, you gotta do it mentally. Let me surround myself with what I want to be. I used to take trips out here. I used to go to where I wanted to live. Visualization is so damn important. It is so important and critical to your success. And if you don't visualize and see what you want to see, it will never happen for you. And you got to expand your horizons. How do you do that? Start. Well, how do I do that, D? Man, what's the first step? When you slow it down and you sit down and look, okay, what's the first step in accomplishing this? Right? I want to move to this city. Okay, well, why don't I start going there? First, I can start going there on vacation, right? Tap in on vacation wise. Then the next time I'm on vacation, let me get an Airbnb and peep some neighborhoods out. I'm not going to do the tourist shit so much this time. I'm gonna hit another corner. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna start looking around. I'm gonna start seeing what companies around here. And you start going over and over and over again, and then you start to peel back opportunities because now you're looking at it from a different eye. You're not looking at it from a tourist standpoint. So I did the same thing with LA, and I started coming more and more. Everything I want to do was in LA. When I went to eat in LA. When I went to hang out in LA. When events in LA. And I started to emerge myself into what I wanted to become. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They sit there and look at it from a distance. You can't look at it from a distance. You got to get in. You got to go in there and see what's cracking. You can't assume that the club is like this and like that, and you looking from the door. You got to get up in there and figure out who the bartender is. You got to figure out the DJ. You got to figure out what's popping. And you can't do that from a distance. So even if you can't commit to it on a regular basis, you got to go see it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be around people, you want to be inspired, go to Santa Monica on a nice Saturday on both sides. You're going to get inspired from the beach side, and on the grass side, there's people walking, there's people exercising, there's yoga classes, there's Long Beach too. Random workout classes, people doing salsa, all kind of stuff that's going to make you want to do something. When you go to Colorado Springs, everybody there is running around on bikes and hiking mountains. That's it. So when you're there, you feel that kind of pressure. You know what I'm saying? So the thing, if you're around people, everybody's doing this, and it's not necessarily positive, you have to be so strong-willed and strong-minded not to become part of that. Even if you don't do it to the degree other people doing, you got to be so strong-minded not to become part of that. And you got to say to yourself, if I have the option, if I have an option, any of them, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to surround myself with. And I don't care if I don't know anybody, I got to force myself into it. People take the term get rich or die trying. They don't understand what 50 was trying to say. They really don't. Prince said the same thing. Man, I'm going to get rich or I'm dying trying. So I'm going to do everything I can in whatever capacity I can to try. I don't know which company's going to make us rich. My money now is saying the chicken just because. I don't know why. Our hair business is doing well. The tours doing well. I don't know why my money's saying the chicken. So which is reason why we started when it didn't make a damn bit of sense, but something's telling us to do it. And I started. I designed the logo. Boom, bam, here we go. Let's sit down and figure out how much. We put everything together by hand and by God's hand. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take much. Get with some folks, people who are really about it. And sometimes you may have to prove yourself with one or two businesses before people usually start to hop on board. When I first started the hair business, everybody didn't believe in it. Not even everybody in my family. They're like, man, he gonna be done in a year, like most of these cats. He gonna be done in a year, man. I ain't tripping. And here we are, 7-8 years later. You still got it. Here's the website. Boom. You can make it happen at any time you want to. And we need to do things like that. But had we not started, had we quit when we took our first sale, when we got that big ass box of bullshit from India, we would have quit. Right? Staying power. Med Tours LA, our cannabis tour. Started in the Camry, did not have a vehicle. Started in my green Camry that I still have now. I just started. We got a bus now. The universe provided us with a bus and we got all that stuff going, but it started in a Camry. So you gotta get your origin story together, homies. Period. What's your origin story? It gotta be dope, and there has to be some type of some type of adversity involved for it to be a dope origin story. My hero story is gonna be fantastic because I'm building. I'm constantly taking chances, and I encourage you guys to do the same. What's gonna be your story? Where's going to be the point of bravery, right? Because in every superhero story, origin story, at some point, somebody's hella brave. Who's that going to be, right? Somebody steps up and says, nah, and takes us to and from, right? So who's that person going to be? And what is it going to be? My money's on the chicken. I just see it. I'm like, man, I'm on airport. Telling you now, I'm like, man, we want airport. So look for that. And when y'all see it, be like, man, I remember when D was talking about it. And I'm not putting a 10 on myself, and I don't have the money, not now, but I will, and it will happen. And we'd be sitting there talking about the same way I interviewed Larry Wright Jr. from Lolo's, he gave me the recipe. God will give you gifts, right? He will send people. He will send people, send blessings, send everything you need. I remember we didn't think we could get a house. We thought it was impossible. And she wanted a new one. I'm like, where? And stuff just magically happens. I'm trying to tell you. You feel what I'm saying? It would just magically happen. You don't know how, and that's not for you to know. That's the problem when we start to mess around. We start to think we have to know how we're going to finish. We have to know everything step by step. I have to know this. How's this going to work? How's this going to work? Well, why don't you just start? Start. What do you need to start? Okay, boom, boom, boom. You. A lot of times we make assumptions. We think that things are more difficult than they are. I can't start a business. Well, why not? Because I don't have the do you? I need business insurance. And did you find out from the city what you needed? Did you find out? Did you call? Did you make the? You got to take steps. One thing you can't do is make assumptions and take advice from people who aren't qualified to give it to you. And even yourself might not be qualified to give advice to yourself. If you can dig what I'm saying, if you haven't done your due diligence, you haven't done your reading, you haven't Googled things, then you can't be giving yourself advice. You got to shut that cat up too. Like, hey, homie, you really don't know what you're talking about. You got to and go for it, right? It sounds counterintuitive. I tell myself to be quiet. Yes, sometimes you have to, because there's that voice inside of you that just says doubt. I can't. Man, not me. Why them? Right? And you start to invest more into the salty cup, right? As opposed to using that energy. Because the thing about energy, let me tell you this. I learned this a long time ago. You got a certain capacity of energy. So it's like one of those like lava lamps where you can move it from one way to another and it flips the liquid goes. That's like energy. So it's going to go to one side or the other. So you might as well use it to the positive. You might as well use it for your advantage. You might as well use it to accomplish something. And let me tell you right now, the way the internet is set up, the way information is in abundance, the key is I have to know what questions to ask because all the information's out there. And probably 80 to 90% of it's free. So what do you want to start? You can start anything. This is why it's so important to go around commerce, right? Go around business. Go around where there's a lot of ideas being exchanged. Universities. One of the advantages I have is that I teach a class all the time. So I'm constantly dealing with fresh ideas. So I'm constantly stretching myself. And the thing about it is, this is the way God works. I've always wanted to be a teacher. And I've always wanted to be the best businessman ever. Right? Why not? Right? But at the same time, he's put me in a place where I'm going to show you, you can teach, and you're going to learn more than you've ever learned when you got your degrees, because you're going to teach this over and over again. You're going to teach consumer behavior and understand what motivates people to buy certain products, right? You're going to teach marketing for 20 semesters so that you understand the 5 P's of marketing, even though they say there's 4 P's, right? We're going to learn about retailing, because when you open up your chicken places, you want to make sure that your ambiance is right and everything is set up, color coordinated, blam, blam, blam. So he got me in a place where I'm learning all this stuff repeatedly over and over and over again. If you know the importance of repetition, listen to that podcast episode. But repetition, I'm doing it over and over and over again every semester. So any type of new information that's coming with business, I'm right on the cusp of it. This is the way God blesses you, when you take a step. But I took a step when there was no path, right? When I would send out my resume. They'd be like, well, you need teaching experience. And I'm like, well, how can I get teaching experience if I don't have any teaching experience? You guys keep saying that, like many jobs. So I went and did an intern. I humbled myself. Did an internship, Santa Clarita College. Did that, gave me a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you the way God works. Even though when I did the intern in Santa Clarita, the lady who I internship, like I shadowed in her class, also taught at a university, which got me into the university. So it was almost like you didn't have to even apply. That's how the universe moves when you take a step towards the right direction. When you're willing to start, that's the key. You gotta start. You got to start even when it looks like there's nothing to be accomplished. Like this is getting ready to be a long ass uphill road. So what? God has a way of making you think it's that way, and then it takes you downhill real quick, fast. So it's not all uphill, but you got to trust. And this is where God kicks you. You have to trust, and that's start. That's that part that Steve Harvey talks about with taking a leap of faith. It's the same deal, right? And then Will Smith talks about you running and reading, where you got to keep running and shutting that voice inside of you up, because there's going to be a lot that's going to tell you to quit. There's going to be people around. The enemy's getting ready to send them. Oh, when you get close, I'll tell you like this: you're going to get doubters. You're going to get situations that almost make you snap. You're going to get all blatant disrespect, blatant, almost make you want to fire on somebody or fire at somebody. Just telling you how the enemy works when you're getting close, especially when you're trying to get with information. He's trying to prevent it. He can't stop it, but he can make you think something different and have you react and then walk away from you like, man, I was on you. I don't know why you did that. That's how the enemy works. So don't be distracted, and understand when you're getting fought the most, that's when you're the closest. Take the right steps. You feel what I'm saying? Take the right steps because you're being tested. Don't fall. Don't bite. It's coming, right? Just keep passing. Keep passing the test. Feel what I'm saying? Keep passing the test. It's like an obstacle course. Just keep going over the obstacle. Don't look back. Don't go to the left or to the right, but understand they're going to keep coming. And understand as you get closer, you'll be tested the most. So prepare for it, and don't be easily waned where you're taking off course. Don't let that be an easy thing. You got to keep the tools around you. I got books, I got podcasts, I got articles, I got my own videos where I can always go back and look, right? Always go back and look. And you need to start to create your library of resources, because this is a fight forever. It's not a one-off, right? He leaves the suckers alone. Let me tell you that right now. The ones who ain't doing nothing, man, they get to kick it. And you be like, man, how come this? I remember when Cassie, they used to be like, how come dude don't never go to jail? I'm like, man, because he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. They don't want him, right? And the same thing. The enemy ain't focused on you. If you ain't doing nothing, you ain't kicking up no dust on either fence, man, let me just leave you sitting there, right? And they'll accomplish nothing. But those who are stepping out, those who are starting stuff, who are trying stuff, who are even willing to fail in public. I'm willing to fail in public. Most people only willing to fail in private, right? I'm willing to fail in public. In public. I don't have a problem with that. I'm willing to mess up. I messed up on here I don't know how many times. D, you can't hear your audio. I'll be talking for a damn near hour. Can't hear any audio. I fumbled over and over and over again. But I started. This is my 111th live. 111th. Dig that one. I started. I couldn't have got to 50. I couldn't have got to 40. I couldn't have got to any of those numbers had I not got started. 111th, right? When I get to 500, I'll talk about that again. But I just had to sit back and just think, damn, 111? That's 2 years. And it takes a long time, right? I remember when there was nobody watching. I'll be sitting there still with the same energy. You can go back and look, same energy. Got better mics, got better lighting, started getting myself together. You feel me? And then people started to gravitate. Still same message, still same raw content, still delivered via God. Nothing more, nothing less. Prince talks about God just as much as I do. Anybody who's dealt with a low point and a high point, you know who you was talking to both times. You dig what I'm saying? And he answered both times, like, okay, well, I'm up now. Good looking out, God. I'm down. God, where you at? You feel me? But it's still all related to him. You dig? And we could try to avoid it, and don't let religion steer you to the left or to the right. Have that direct connection with him and asking for it, because he will deliver. The key is he wants you to start. Just like a relationship. I talk about this in my sales class. There's another class I teach, which helped me develop relationships. I had a hard time with relationships because the game I came from, you couldn't trust anybody. So it was hard for me to develop business relationships and relationships in general. Now I know how to massage those. I know how to do those right. It took me a long time. And that's another episode I'll talk about, is the importance of relationships and what they can actually do for your career. I'm telling you, man, I wish more people would have told me about the importance of relationships. It is so important. Be cool with everybody if you can. Even if somebody pissed you off, don't let them know they pissed you off. Don't chew anybody out. Don't do none of that stuff. You never know when you have to see somebody again and what position they'll be in. So even if you feel like somebody done did you dead wrong, chill on it. Let God handle that. Don't even let them know that you're upset, because you don't want to create enemies out in the world of business. Some of the best advice I can give you guys, and I just learned that from experience on me. But trust me. So God is the same way, just like a girl at a dance. Wants you to go make the first damn move. Quit playing around. Make that move. It's waiting on you, homie. I'm making moves now. I'm like, okay, so we just got in with the city. We're about to do 2 events with the city. And I'm like, man, now I see myself, us having a restaurant in the city, period. Whenever I say I'm ready to be done with all these other things, I put all my energy into that and building that brand and turning that into a franchise, doing the South Bay, doing Phoenix, doing New Mexico, doing Utah, Vegas, the Bay, Oregon, and Seattle, homie. Not playing. I'm speaking into existence now. God throwing me the nuggets to make it pop. Pun intended. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how we need to be thinking. We need to have that confidence, even though we may deep down inside, shit, I don't know how I'm gonna pull that one off. Well, you're gonna get a book on franchise. You're gonna get a book on the whole restaurant design. You're gonna get a book on all that, so that you have an idea on how to do all that, even if it's new to you. Because you can go get a book on restaurant design and look at why they're designed this way. Why did Burger King design this way? Why did McDonald's design this way? Why is this designed this way? Right? Why do people like this restaurant? Why is Popeyes set up like this? Popeyes by my house be cracking. I'm loving what they're doing and watching it though. And I'm like, but I sit there and say, we can compete with you. Popeyes started small in Louisiana. Now they all over the damn place. We can compete with you. So let me get started. Logo, website, buy some chicken, get some fryers, figure the shit out, figure it out. We've been that type of people our entire lives, right? Resourceful. We've had to figure it out. But what we had, put it together, let's put it in action. Let's try it. And the support, shout out to Tanisha, who is on the chat right now, for support, one of the first clients. Now we're getting ready to do 2 festivals. We're doing a wine and food festival with DW3. And that's going to turn into something else. Next thing you know, we'll be catering for the city. And hopefully we get one of these hip hop artists. And then we chilling at the hotel, Hollywood Hills with a gang of chicken. That's the goal. That's the goal, homie. And that's all I'm talking about. But again, none of this would have happened had I not got started. And all it took me to go was to Canva to create the logo, Squarespace to get the website, and I used what I already knew from my other businesses, from the other mistakes I made. Go down, get the USC. Yeah, that too. Now you're talking. That's what I'm saying. Trying to get, because right now the way the city is cooperating with a lot of small businesses and restaurants, you can mess around and get SoFi Stadium, Clipper Stadium will be here in 2 years. Man, we get up in Clipper Stadium, it's a wrap. And they're giving preferential treatment to businesses that are already established. So these are things that are happening. This is why I'm moving on. Right? I see that happening. You get that nudge from God. God be pushing. Hey, man, go ahead, dog. Man, go ahead. Even if you make the mistake, man, go ahead, homie. Do that. And we ain't failed yet. I tell you what did fail, my social media consulting business. That failed. That didn't do anything. That didn't track anybody but a bunch of people that wanted to spend no money. That was a waste of time. But I learned a lot in that. Quit following trends. Do what you're supposed to do. Dare to be a leader in the world of followers, right? I had to learn all these different things because at that time, everybody was in the social media. Everybody wanted to learn it. Let me try it. Man, I could tell you guys this stuff. I could teach that stuff and they're paying me at the university. But this other stuff, first step forward, yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's all we're trying to do, man. And the universe will provide everything else. That's why I'm encouraging you guys, please, by all means, and the universe is begging you to Start some shit. Go start that thing that you've been wanting to start. I don't care what it is. All it takes is you to take a step. And it could be as simple as coming with 3 names and put it on Facebook and say, what do you think of these 3 names for my business? Can you guys vote for the best one? And whether they vote or not, whether you get 2 votes, 1 vote, it doesn't matter. You're sparking activity with the universe. All you're trying to do is get the universe to see that you started something. Let me start my engine. Universe, like, oh, we're running? Oh, okay. This is what we're doing? I thought you were still tripping and complaining. Nah, oh, you ready to get going? Let's go. And it's ready to rock and roll just as easy, right? It's ready to rock and roll and give you everything. The universe has an abundance of whatever you need. Whatever you need. You have to meet it halfway, but you have to initiate game. That's the only caveat. You got to initiate game, dog. You got to go to the library. You got to go do a business search. You got to do a corporate search. Something. You know what I'm saying? You get a birthday, man. Somebody, okay, what you want from my man? Can you guys help me get this business license? I'm trying to do a GoFundMe so I can get this business license so I can get XYZ. If you ain't got the bread, if you're in the game and you got the bread, you start funneling that stuff over there quickly and get out as soon as you can before you bring it with you or you get caught up in somebody else's web. So the main thing is get started as soon as possible. Set up your structure for success. And your first setup may not be perfect. Your website may not be perfect. Your logo may be busted. It doesn't matter. You'll get better. I've seen so many businesses out here. So many businesses. I just saw Bledsoe's. Shout out to my boy Kevin Bledsoe, man. Chilling. But Bledsoe's won the Hoodie Award. He started in Compton on Long Beach Boulevard, just doing barbecue in the back. XCO. Had all his family back there working on his barbecue. Man, this dude got a one in Melbourne, Australia, think at the airport, and then he has one in Hollywood. He's selling 6 wings for $15. Just the drumettes. Got drinks, sauce. And I remember when he started, he started. He probably had no idea what this was going to be, just like we have no idea what it's going to be. We don't know what we're going. We don't know. We have no idea where we're going. But I tell you what, the universe does. And if we don't get started with some of these itches that God is providing us, man, we will never know. Yeah, Mr. Fries, man, shout out to Mr. Fries, man, too. He started around the corner from me. In his backyard, backyard with one, I think he had 1 fryer. And he started with fries. You see him and his boy, Billionaire Burger Boys. You see all them cats at Restaurant Depot. We see them all. And I remember when all of them got started. That's the beauty in it, man. You could take destiny in your own hands. If you fall, so what? We fell when we first started walking. We probably damn near almost drowned when we first started swimming. The whole moral to that story is we're going to suck before we get better, but we got to start. And if we don't keep practicing, we'll never get better, right? This business is the third one we've done is going to be smoother than our first one, of course. We have our logos together. We got our packages together. We know where to get our print. We know how to design stuff because we started. And you got to do the same thing. You got to get started. So what we starting, man? What we starting? It could be anything. E40. Look at E40. Liquor, wine, liquor, and he got sausages. The going with the spoon. He got sausages, and he started off. If you followed him on Instagram, he started off just doing little videos and cooking little things here and there, but teasing, trying, experimenting. Can I get good at this? Can I brand this too? Right? Because that's what I realized that I'm doing. I'm a creator. I'm a brand creator. I can help you with your brand or whatever. But I'm harsh on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm real tight with that. Logos like our tagline, love in every piece. Fried chicken, love in every piece. Because why? I'm a firm believer in if you mad when you cooking my food, it's probably gonna be nasty. I want you to be happy and I want love put in my food. So we put love in every single piece. We're not upset when we're cooking this food at all. And you'll see it. So we got a whole thing behind it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what we need to be. Went to a place up in Seattle called what's his name? It's a chicken spot. He got them all up in Portland. Starts with an E. But his chicken was cool. You know what I'm saying? But he's got a bunch. That's why I want to do the same thing. He owns his area. Dick's Burgers up there owns their area. Could do the same thing, man. Come up with something. Try something. You got a recipe. You know how to make something good. You never know. Watch stuff on the A&E, a lot of historical stuff, so that you can get inspiration. That's where I got it from. Once I figured out that I saw Domino's, and I was like, oh, these just two random white dudes just came up and said, let's just make some pizza, and they messed up. That's why it's thick crust. They messed up. And I'm like, oh, this is how you get empires? Oh, but I see the common thread. They started. They were willing to fail. They were willing to embarrass themselves. Got it. I can do that too. You said we were out here taking life. Yeah, for kibbles and bits. Yeah, exactly. For that, man, homie, talk to me for real. That's exactly what that. I mean, there's so much truth in that. We was out there taking penitentiary chances, damn near about to get killed. Police, jackers, the whole nine. And now we're not willing to take a risk on something that could potentially set our families up for generations. Generations. Imagine the Tabasco family, the Tapatio family. All these families just start up, man. Somebody got the hot sauce cracking. The Asian dudes that's in Irwindale. Hiracha. Figured out somebody took some peppers and, man, let's make this stuff crack. They got factories now, and it's all over the world. Who would have thought? But it had to start with somebody. Had to start with somebody. So get started. Get started. That's it, man. That's it. That's all I got to say today, man. I don't have much. That's it, homies. Get started. Let's get started today. Let's take a step. One step. That's it. One step. Doesn't matter what kind. One step. Give me that commitment of one step. I'm taking one step towards my ambition, my dream today. Write it down. Let's get started. Boom. I'll see y'all next week.